in the movie. But it is rather the development of getting to know oneself, and in this sense it is a love movie, of course. It is important to know how to love. It is about thinking about it. Everybody is free to do that, of course. And
può far pensare a... In realtà per me non è così, però se anche si leggesse così...
To me, this is the case. It is like this. But even if you have to decide to go down this path, then you can say that this is a path of love, really. Why not?
Ok, però col microfono, se non possiamo tradurre.
With the microphone, please. For the interpreters.
La stessa domanda a Filippo Timi e a Marco Baliani, per favore, grazie.
I would also like to ask a question to Mikko Timi and Marco Baliani. It's the question about who we are, the question of who we are, really, especially. This is the case for the main character, Cristo. What are we doing here? This is the only answer someone is looking for in there. Someone who loves you and gives you an answer. Maybe it's an answer you never discover, who knows? But I think this movie talks about it. The movie talks about the necessity of being loved. And it's a true gift. It's not just something that is being taken for granted. It's a love that is probably impossible. That is to love yourself and love the others as you love yourself. How you can love the others. And I think this movie talks about the difficulties and about the impossibility. It's also a contradiction also for ourselves who worked with it. And this movie strongly touched us. Whilst we were shooting the movie, regardless of the fact of we believe in God or not, I personally don't believe, for example, but still this movie touched me deeply, really. Well, in my case,
omosessuale è uomo sessuale, cioè
we are talking about not really homosexuality, but about the love for mankind, really, in my character in the movie, in any case, if I can put it like this. I have the character Zanna, that is the one who tries to look for God within mankind, inside men. For example, in the movie, there's this huge script, everything that is so powerful around us, and I lived the movie like a very intimate movie, whilst absolutely looking inside oneself. It is weird because there's this huge space in the movie, and to me as an actor and also to me as a character of the movie, however, this huge space did not only give me the possibility to lose myself, but rather the possibility to be silent and to listen to myself, inside myself, and this sense, the love for mankind. I would rather talk about, well, not between two men who live in the same room necessarily have homosexual love. They would need something else. It's true there are the discussions about it, etc., but it's something different. I think it is the movie is rather about looking inside oneself and looking for love inside oneself and try to learn to be oneself. There is this taboo of homosexuality sometimes, well, probably, but the bigger taboo probably is not to ask oneself questions. So I rather see the movie like this. Thank you very much. There's another question over there. Andreas Meyer from Bayerischer Rundfunk. There are allusions to the mystical side, that is to look for God inside oneself. My question to the director is, when preparing the movie, did you you read what Martin Luther wrote? That is the freedom of Christianity, because there you can find exactly the same problems in his writing. So did you read this for preparation?
No.
No.
Però non Martin Lutero, nel senso
Martin Luther, no, I didn't read his writings before, but the movie has a bibliography, of course.
Lavoro di ricerca bibliografica. Molti testi
That is, we had a whole list of books we had to look into, and we did research, of course. Ignazio Loyola, for example, was one source. And there's also an allusion to Tolstoy and others with a final kiss, for example, which is towards the end of the movie and brings the movie to a close. Then there are the texts by Olivier Clément, who's a French person whom I consulted. So you can find a whole bibliographical list in the movie, which we tried to develop in the movie. It's a thesis. Maybe it's a wrong word when talking about movies and cinema, but we tried to do research through the text that exists, not in the specific case of Martin Luther, but we used a lot of other theological texts. Yes, I would like to ask a question about religion. Religion plays a very important movie a role in the movie, but I would not only say that the movie is only a religious thing and a religious discussion, because you have the characters in the movie, and at least partially they can be found on a secular level as well. It's a question to Saverio, rather. Yes, you're right, absolutely. We didn't want to make a religious movie. This was not our intention to make a religious movie. The question about Andrea, as well as the question of Zanna, the one of Banella, those are all questions that I personally think I don't ask these questions like this only in church, but I continually ask these questions. Wedding, for example, family choices, etc. And there you can, in everyday life, you can find these questions as well. It wasn't our intention to talk about the religious aspects only, but we wanted to describe the fight you have when looking for a decision and when taking a decision. And this is a human fight you have that can be transmitted to other decisions that are taken. That's the discernment, so to speak. That's a discipline. This is linked to every single decision one has to take in his or her life.
Non abbiamo vestito, voglio dire, poteva essere più scenografico vestire I protagonisti con gli abiti.
We've chosen the costumes, the characters, etc. And what we wanted is to create an identification to, as far as possible, identification for the audience, something very normal, really, something that can be linked to the life of everybody, not only to those who believe in God, not only to those who are religious. To me, this was secondary. Yeah, there's a question over there. I would like to ask about the music. Why have you chosen the music? Because I've got the impression that sometimes in the movie you use the music as a counterpoint, and then during other scenes of the movie it's rather like the